So, welcome everybody to yet another live interview with Become a Fearless Father and my guest, Alan Dean. Thanks so much, man, for being on. Just looking forward to it. We've been trying for a while, at least trying to set this up, see if we can get in contact with each other a little bit more, live interviews. Because this guy is insanely busy, and we're going to find out how he does it for sure within this next hour. And let's start right off, man. Let's start because you got a 9-to-5 from the size that you're trying to build your dream life. And the first step you're taking is generating enough passive income to get out of that job, correct? Is that
right? Yes and no. My first goal with the passive income actually is my wife also works. She's been working the same job for 20 years. Wow. And she wants to quit her job and be a full-time stay-at-home mom. So when I first started making passive income online, my initial goal was to supplement her income so that I want to support her in that, we have kids, we have 7-year-old twin girls and a 10-year-old boy. And she just kind of feels like time is, passing right by, and she's not getting to spend time with them. She works from 9 to 7 every day, and she's off like Wednesdays and Sundays. So she got weird days off, so Wednesdays is not really a good day off because the kids are either at school or whatever they're doing during the summer. So by the time she gets home at 7:45 or whatever at night, within half an hour, the kids are going to bed,
Yep.
So she doesn't get to spend a lot of time with them. And she really wanted to just quit her job. But obviously we've been used to that second income, our whole life. We've been married 14 years, and it's changed for us. So like I said, that's my initial goal was to supplement that for her, because I want her to be able to, and I think we're getting pretty close to that point where we can, let her stop that. And that's what she really wants to do. So.
Love that, man. So you're first working so your wife can, and then I guess the next step is so you can, and then build out whatever next dream we're going to talk about later on, right?
Right.
That's brilliant. I like that. I wasn't expecting that, but could have thought of that, right? So I like that. I like the way that went. Just before we get into who's Alan Dean, right? What's your origin story, man? Can you share with those that don't know what is passive income? What does that mean, right?
Passive income is money that you can make in your sleep. I guess that's an easy way to describe it. Passive means it just sort of comes in on its own. And you may have to put in a little bit of work, here and there, but it's not like your regular 9-to-5. Passive could be, as an example, could be like owning rental properties, right? And you have tenants that are paying you rent every month, but if you own that property, free and clear, then that monthly income is just recurring monthly income that's passive to you. And it just kind of goes into your account, and you don't really have to do a lot with it. You may have a maintenance or a management company that takes care of that property for you, and you really don't have to do anything, just sit back and let the money roll in. So that's a great example of passive income that a lot of people could probably understand. And that's really what it is. And there's a billion different ways to make passive income. Rental property is just one, because like I said, I think it's an easy one for people to understand, but online marketing is a great one, which is, the one that I'm creating for myself right now. But there's a lot of different ways to do it.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I think that's for the people to understand. It's the basics of whatever else we're going to talk about today, and we're going to dive into what you're doing and how you're setting that up. Before we continue all of that, man, let me share this as well. Let's go into your origin story, right? Who's Alan? How did you get this? Why did you start coming up with the idea of, hey, I got to build up a passive income? Because I think it's a great idea. I should have done that before I became an entrepreneur. I think that would have made things a lot easier than what I'm trying to set up right now. So yeah, let's start off with that. And of course, very interested. You already mentioned you got a boy and twin daughters, right?
Correct.
And married for 14 years.
That's right.
Nice, man. Nice. So let's start off with your origin story, man. Go ahead.
Well, we've kind of touched on it, a little bit already. So my origin story, the reason that I got into passive income was mostly because I wanted to support my wife in leaving her job. That was the main reason. We had been talking about it for a while. She wanted to do it, and I hadn't really made a decision on how we were going to handle that yet. And then I don't know, somehow I must have clicked on something of Russell Brunson's, and then he just would not leave my timeline alone. He just, bugged me forever. This is called retargeting for those of you that are learning online marketing. He retargeted me, and he just kept popping up in my new, like everywhere I went, isn't it? If I went on YouTube, here comes Russell Brunson, hey, Alan, how's it going today? And so he just kept popping in my face all the time. And eventually I signed up for the 30-day summit, I believe it was, which is a free 30-day class that goes over 30 millionaires. And it's sort of a blueprint, right? It teaches you, they give you their 30-day blueprint to success, right? So the premise is if they lost everything they had, all their contacts, all their money, everything, and they had to start over from scratch, and they had 30 days to recreate a business. And these are people that have been successful, right? Millionaires. How would they do it? And they spell out all 30 days, and this is 30 different people that do it. So this is a free class. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I'd like to hear from some millionaires and how they would do it. And so initially I signed up for that. And one of the upsells in that was the One Funnel Away Challenge, which is a 30-day very intense training on everything you need to know about digital marketing, how to set it up, how to get traffic, what to sell, blah, blah, blah. It's just a very cool training and a very intense training. And so I signed up for my first One Funnel Away Challenge. That was in March. It started March the 25th. And that's with ClickFunnels, by the way. I don't know if we've actually mentioned the name yet, but Russell owns ClickFunnels. And so I started that, and that's really what started my journey with this latest one that I'm on now. And so in April, kind of early April, once I got my feet wet, I read some books and spent a lot of time learning what I needed to know and reading up on everything and just talking to other people in the groups and stuff like that and socializing a lot. And so in April, I started promoting ClickFunnels. And in my first 30 days, before the first One Funnel Away Challenge was over, which was a 30-day challenge, I had already made over $4,300 and earned my One Comma Club Award, which is making $1,000 or more from a single sales funnel or single sales ad. And I didn't really, to be honest, I didn't think that it was that hard, I just put in the work and I did it. And I'm sure we can go over the details of that at some point in this interview, but apparently a lot of people spend years and don't make that money with, that kind of money with ClickFunnels and stuff like that. So, people have wanted to talk to me and ask me about that, but I just put my head down and did the work. That's really the short answer. And I committed. That's what we have to do, right? We have to commit, and we have to commit to anything in life, whether it's making passive income online, whether it's our marriages or our kids or relationships or, whatever it is that we're doing, we have to commit. And if we don't commit and we don't believe in ourselves that we can do this and, believe in our spouses, if we're talking about marriages or whatever, then failure is pretty much inescapable, right? So have to believe, we have to commit in everything that we do. And that's what I did. I believed in myself and I committed to myself and committed to the work and the goal, which was supporting my wife. And it's turned out very well for me so far. So that's pretty much how it all started.
Nice, man. I appreciate you sharing that. I like what you said. That's how it started, right? Because, man, I've been watching you. I've been following you. We've been in contact. And I see you in a group. I see you, like, doesn't matter what hour, you're there writing, talking to people, helping people, serving people. I don't like the word grinding, but that's exactly what you're doing. And it's working for you. And you're doing exactly what Russell said, right? This is the 30 days that I've shared. And you just take an action. Where most people fail, they listen to the course. I don't know what they do then, but they forget to take the most important thing, which is taking action, right? And then they're wondering, like, how is it possible that Alan actually got all this stuff and I still don't? It's like, dude, you're not doing what Russell said. It's not that hard, right? So I'm really happy for you, man, that you're getting that down. And yeah, you absolutely deserve what you've got so far. I am sure you got the same feeling as me. You're just at the beginning, man. I mean, I just see you going like this every single day, and I see you continuing to do that until you reach all your goals, and that's beautiful, man. You got that goal, and you're like, I was going to say pit bull. You just bite in it, don't let go until you got that. That's determination, man. That's absolutely amazing. A lot of people lack. What would you say to those that lack it? Like, how could somebody create such determination like you had, right, to make sure that they can achieve success as you have had so far?
Man, that's all a mental game, you know. And I think the best way to approach that is literally to have a goal or something that's driving you, whatever that is. And I guess I would take it a one step further, and I wouldn't say don't just make it about money, right? It's not just because I want more money. I have a goal. I want to support my wife who really wants to stop working and be a stay-at-home mom. The byproduct of that is I'm going to make money because I need money to achieve this goal. But my number one goal is not just to make money. And so set a goal, whatever that goal is. It's a, hey, look, you know, I'm family of 5 kids, and none of my siblings have ever made anything of themselves, and blah blah. And I want to be that one that takes the next step and becomes successful. And I want to take care of my family. I want to take care of my parents, whatever it is. And I want to be the first one in my family to own my own house. Nobody in my family's ever owned their own house, and say, I want to be the first one to do that. And I want to show my family that anybody can do this. I'm capable of doing it. They're capable of doing it. And so I'm going to commit to this goal. I'm going to do it. And maybe they'll follow along. Maybe they'll follow suit. Maybe I can get my brothers and my sisters or my parents to jump in on this with me. And, you just never know. And that's just an example. But whatever the case may be, whatever it is in your life that you want to attain, set a goal and drive until you hit that goal, and don't stop until you hit that goal. Do not stop. And, like I touched on earlier, have faith and belief in yourself and what you're doing, and don't give up on that. We're all going to fail. We're all going to fail at something at some point. It's going to happen. And so if you fail with your first sales funnel or your first podcast or your first blog or whatever it is that you're trying to do, don't feel bad and don't give up, right? You keep going, and you let the market tell you what they want from you. You go, you make one and it doesn't do very well, and the market says didn't like that, and you say okay, and then we work on something else, and we do something else until we find what the market wants, and then we hone in on that one thing, and then you start growing. But yeah, that would be my advice, is to answer your question, is to find some goal and something in your life that you really want, and use that to drive you.
Yeah, man, that's powerful. I like that. And I'm glad you also mentioned, like, don't make it all about money. Like, it's a good drive, but you need something extra. Like, there's always a deeper why you want to get that stuff done. So that's great to share that. I got tons of questions from what you just shared with me. Let me, before I forget, man, because I wanted to post it earlier, and I hope you don't mind if I share this, right? This is your group, correct? So Alan's got a group where he's teaching actually what everything that you know about passive income, helping others get the opportunity to get that passive income. And this is a free group, correct?
Yeah, it's free group.
Anybody can join it, right? So anybody can join this and you can learn from Alan. So I highly recommend it. And I actually, just so people think like, oh, how can I find that? And I don't want to type that. I got the link in the comment section. So you can just click on the link and join his group and learn all about it. Alan is, man, he might have a job, but it looks like he's there 24/7. So so I just quickly want to share that, people. That's it, Alan. It seems family is very important for you. You just mentioned your own family, right? Your kids, your wife. Now you also mentioned your brothers, your sisters, your parents. Can you share a little bit? What's your philosophy, man, on family? I'm very interested in knowing that from
you. Family first. You know, that's pretty much it. Family first. And you know, I've had a lot of things in my life have changed because of family. And I don't go too deep into my life's, story or anything, but when we had our first son, our first child, Aiden, I had my own air conditioning company, and I still do air conditioning now. Here, this is my 9 to 5 that I'll go to when we're done with this, but I own my own air conditioning company, and it was a multi-million-dollar a year company, and it was something that I had always wanted to do. I had done air conditioning pretty much my entire life, and always wanted to own my own company. And so I was doing that with a longtime friend of mine, a partner of mine. But when we had our son, running your own company takes a lot of time. And I was spending, a lot of hours, 14, 16 hours a day, was running this company. To be that dad that was never there for their kids growing up, And so as much as I wanted to own my own company, at the same time, it's a headache, and it's not as easy as everybody makes it out to be. So don't everybody just go jump and open up your own companies. But the legal side of it's the hard part, taxes and all that. But anyway, I decided that the best thing to do for me and my family was to sell the company and just work for someone else again, so that I didn't have the headaches of payroll and taxes and all the people that don't pay, and all that kind of stuff. And I could be there, for my family and just work a normal job and spend time with my family like I really wanted to do. So I did that. And, that last year when we sold the business, I had $250,000 in receivables, $250,000 in people that had not paid me.
Wow.
And so it's tough being a bank, and it took me several years to get that money back. Actually, after I sold the business, it took me several years to collect on debt and stuff. So it was a lot of work. It was probably more work than it was worth. And so I sold the company to another company, and more of a merge, if you will. We just kind of made one big company out of it. I had a contract to stay on with them for 3 years. I ended up staying for 3.5 years. And then I came to the company I'm at now, which I've been here for almost 5 years, I think. And I'm, manager here. But all of this revolved around family, right? So this journey started 10, 11 years ago when we had our son, and pretty much changes and major decisions in our life have all revolved around family since then, right? It's sort of the point of that story is that I kind of had what I wanted, but it wasn't about me, right? It's not just about me. It was about my family and about my new son, my new child. And I wanted to be there for him, and I wanted to support him and, grow up playing throwing baseballs and footballs with him, you know, and teaching him how to ride a bike and all the things that dads want to do, hopefully want to do with their children. And I guess that's the difference between being a father and a dad, right? And so I wanted to do all those things. And so I gave up the things that I thought were important to me so that I could take part in that. And I'm giving up things that are important to me now so I can support my wife, right? We just moved. Wow, I got all these boxes. You'll have to excuse all my boxes. We just moved 2 weeks ago. And we moved in anticipation also of her quitting her job. And so we went very, very, very large house to a more normal size house. And it was hard. I'm not going to lie. You know, it was tough for me because I enjoyed my house and the things that I had there and, you know, and all that. And it was tough for me, but in the end, it's all about family. And I wanted to support her in this last decision, this last big change in our life. I wanted to support her, and I completely understand her need and her desire and her want to be home with the kids, you know. And so I wanted to support her in that. So yeah, all of the big changes in my life have been because of my family, and mostly because of my kids. But yeah, all about family, man. All about family and all about selfless love. You know, that's really what it's about. Put them first.
I like that, man. I like the way you explained that and shared that. Yeah, it's very important. And I also glad you quickly mentioned, like, look, it's not as easy just to start your own business, right? We see it more and more, and I keep reminding it the last couple of interviews. It's like the whole thing of being an entrepreneur is just being glorified and being set up in a wonderful fairy tale that everybody should now all of a sudden do. And you see so many dads, you just mentioned it, right? You had your own company, which was your dream. However, you weren't seeing your family. And then some people have a 9-to-5, they quit the 9-to-5 so they can be closer to the family, become an entrepreneur. And then all of a sudden they're spending 14, 16 hours a day on they actually see their kids less, right? Or their wife for that matter. So I'm glad you're sharing that. I think it's a very important message for all dadpreneurs out there. It's, dad first, entrepreneur second. And as in your case, fanpreneur maybe, you know, it's better family first, entrepreneur life second, or you know, whatever comes second after that. So that's great, man. I appreciate that. So we talked about this a little bit, man, but I want to go into it a little bit deeper in regards to the passive income, right? What is your strategy at the moment on making yourself passive income? You went into that, but how are you teaching others to get the same opportunities that you're building for yourself and your family right now?
So I have a pretty simple answer to that when people ask me what my model is or what my strategy is, you know, about teaching people. And that is that I give as much as I can to anyone, and I expect nothing in return, right? And so I don't go out and offer myself or my services or my training or my coaching. I don't do anything and make it contingent on anybody purchasing something from me or doing anything. I freely give of myself, and that's just my nature, my personality, right? And so it just flows through to what I'm doing now, and it helps a lot. But my nature and personality is to give freely of myself. If I have it, I'm happy to share it with you, right? And so I spend my time helping other people and not even really focusing so much on my own funnels and sales things, you know, that I originally wanted to do when I started ClickFunnels. I just don't have the time to focus on those right now. And so I started my Facebook group during that first One Funnel Away challenge. And, you know, we're at, I don't know, I think we're approaching now or something close to it. And so the group, and that's been since, you know, it's really been 2 months, you know, maybe almost 3 months. And so the group has grown a lot. I really spend most of my time in the group. I spend my time helping the group, teaching the group, and like we said earlier, the group is free. I don't charge anybody. There's no admission. There's no charge for any of this stuff. I help people. As a byproduct of that, people end up using my affiliate links to buy things, or they sign up for ClickFunnels with my affiliate link or something like that. That's where these commissions. But it's much more gratifying to me. There's a lot of different ways to approach this in affiliate marketing and in digital marketing, and everybody has their own strategies and does it different ways. But to me, it's much more gratifying to offer your services and offer your teaching, coaching, knowledge, whatever it is, for free, and to have someone come to you and say, can I have your link? Can I have your affiliate link? Can I buy something from you? Right? And so that means that you're doing something right, in my opinion. You're not forcing a sale. You're not buying a customer, right? You're doing it the right way, in the ethical way, and that's the way that I teach people how to do things. We always want to do things the right way, in the ethical way, so that we never get in trouble. And plus, your customers are going to stick with you, or your affiliates, if it's an affiliate marketing thing, they're going to stick with you for the long haul, because they know that you're a genuine person. They know that you're always going to be there to help them with anything that they need. I've been up at 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes, working on a funnel or building a funnel for, someone, and not even someone that's connected, like not even an affiliate of mine or someone that I've even made money off of, It's just someone that needed help. And so, I helped them. And so it's earned me a bit of a reputation with the ClickFunnels community, and which is a good thing. I appreciate that. But that's my model, is that I help others and I expect nothing in return. And as long as you train yourself to expect nothing in return and to give freely, then I think you would find that the byproduct of that is you'll end up getting more than what you were seeking to get originally, right? If you're trying to get something, you may get that one thing, but you'll probably miss out on everything else that's around you and all the other possibilities and opportunities, because you're so focused on that one sale, right? That one thing you're trying to sell. If you don't do that and you just be a free bird, then a lot of other things may come your way that may surprise you,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed about you is just, your generosity and always trying to help everybody and serving, right? Which is absolutely amazing. How are you using that concept as, give without expecting anything, also with your family, as in, how you are with your wife, how you are with your kids, how you're teaching your kids, right? How are you using that value that you have in your brain for your setting up your passive income business towards being the husband and dad that you want to be?
I may not be quite as good at that at home.
Okay.
Just be honest with it. I try, but none of us is perfect. But still, it kind of really falls back to what we were talking about earlier, which was just putting them first, and not getting the things that I want, right? And so I try to teach them that, we just moved 2 weeks ago, and so we bought them a new trampoline, big old huge trampoline, huge thing with nets and all this stuff on it. And I spent all night one night and all morning the next morning, putting that together for them, and because I knew that they really wanted it and they would want to see it. They were staying at my parents' house on Friday night, Saturday night kind of thing. They gave us the weekend, to start getting unpacked and all that. But instead of unpacking, I spent time putting a trampoline together for them.
Nice.
But they were so happy when they came home, and it stunk, man. It's 100 degrees here right now. Like, it's hot. And I was out there just sweating head to toe, trying to put this thing together all by myself, and I didn't want to do it. That's just the bottom line. I didn't want to do it. It was hot. It was really hard to do by yourself, but I did it. And because I wanted them to be happy, and I knew how happy they would be when they came home to have that. And they have not left that trampoline alone ever since then. Every day they've already made friends with some neighbors here, and the neighbors come over every day, and they all jump on that trampoline, and stuff like that. And so that's just a recent example of me helping my kids and putting my kids first, and I'm not going to get anything out of that. I'm going to get joy out of that because I'm going to see the joy that they have, and that's going to reciprocate back to me. But other than that, I don't get anything out of that. I got a bunch of sweaty clothes in the shower out of it. That's about all I got out of it, But yeah, that's really it, man. It's just just trying to put my wife and my kids first as much as I can, and not expecting anything in return for me. I want them to be happy, and I want to focus whatever efforts I can on them being happy. And we're all humans, and we're all selfish in nature, somewhere, right? And so I may fail at that at some point. And, like we talked about earlier, we're all going to fail at some point, and that's okay, because I have a wife that also supports me in return. And so, she's not going to, kill me when I fail at something. She's going to build me up and say, hey, this happened, or you failed at this, or whatever, or you yelled at the kid, because you just had a stressful day, and you didn't need to yell at them, or something. And why don't you go take a break and let me take care of the kids, or something like that. And so when we're dealing with families, it's also equally important to have support from your partner, your spouse, right? And luckily I have that. So I'm blessed in that. And not everybody does, but I do. And so that's made my journey a lot easier.
Nice. Good, man. Good to hear. I'm glad you shared that. And yeah, man, none of us are perfect. I mean, that's why I call it become a fearless father. I mean, I'm so far away from my goal. It's ridiculous. So yeah, man, I like that. Going back real quick to the passive income, man, that's the route you've chosen right now to make some goals of yours. Some goals are a little closer, some goals are further away, right? One of the goals that you mentioned is to get your wife out of her 9-to-5 so she can be there for the kids and live her dream, right? And I'm just wondering, what are some of the next goals? Like, what is your big vision or big view of your whole passive income journey that you've set for yourself?
We were talking, I think, what was it? You posted something the other day. It was about, what was it about? How many viewers or something? 10,000 viewers, or 5,000 or 10,000 or something like that.
Yep.
And I think my comment to you was shoot high. Aim for the stars, basically. And I don't know that I have a end result goal, to be honest with you. I just know that there's a lot of things that I would like to do for passive income, and not just the digital marketing, some real estate. We talked about that, at the beginning. That'd be another avenue of passive income that I want. My ultimate goal would be to be completely financially free and have passive income take care of my family. That's really my goal. From what streams that comes from, that can be a lot of different streams, and those may change a little bit, over time as I learn new things. And but everyone should, if possible, have multiple streams of income, because you never know when one stream may fall out on you. If you're working a 9-to-5, you may walk in one day and you may get that that call to the office, that today's your last day, or the company's been sold, or the company's going under. Well, you just never know what's going to happen, right? You may be a model employee, and you may be a great employee, but things are just out of your control. And so A is to always, if possible, have multiple streams of income, and or put money away, take money from whatever your income is, and put it away, 10% or whatever you can. Put it in a stock or a 401k or somewhere for a rainy day, right? That's my financial advice. And I'm not a financial advisor, but multiple streams of income, and put some money back for a rainy day. That's the best things you can do for yourself and for your family, so that you always have a nest egg, and you always have some way to provide for them, right? You don't want to rely on one thing, and then that one thing be taken away from you, and then you don't have any money put back, you don't have anything, and all of a sudden you went from being a happy-go-lucky family, happy-go-lucky guy, to I can't pay my mortgage, I'm losing my house, I'm losing my cars, all this stuff. And you just never want to be in that, because then you get in the position of desperate times call for desperate measures, right? And then you see people doing what a lot of people are doing, where they're out there and they're hustling, but they're doing it for kind of the wrong reasons, and they start to become unethical because they need the money so bad that they don't really care how they get it. And that's a position you never want to be in. You never want to be in that place where it doesn't matter to you how you get income or how you get money, because most of the time that translates to doing things the wrong way, treating people the wrong way. You'll say what you got to say to get someone to buy something, or whatever, and then you're just on to the next person, because you need that money. And so just don't ever put yourself in that place, and it's just a bad place to be. So multiple streams of income, getting back to the gut of the answer, multiple streams of income, as many as I can. I also own a home inspection company as well, in addition to all the rest of this stuff. I didn't tell you that before, but I want to have as many things going as I possibly can, to where, as Julie Stoian would say, the laptop lifestyle, where I can just sit around in PJs and a laptop and do everything I need to do from home, and have the rest of the income just flowing in, from all these streams as much as possible, and with as little assistance or work from me as humanly possible. That's the ultimate goal, man. That's the American dream, I guess. We'll see if we get there.
Well, the way you're going, I'm sure you definitely will. I like that dream. Not sure if I would call it the American dream. I think it's my dream too. So, and I'm not American. So, plus that's the great thing about this whole internet thing, right? We don't have to go to America anymore to live the American dream, or whatever you want to call it. That's right. So that's pretty cool. But I'm glad you shared that, man. And yeah, it's so important to have that passive income stream. I wished I would have learned about all this 20 years ago when I started working my first jobs, to also start building at the same time passive income, right? So for all of you that are listening to this right now, or maybe live or recording, just quickly going to share this again, right? I put this in the comment section. This is Alan's group, where he shares with you his journey, his insights, experience in regards to passive income, and helps you to set the same thing up for you. So make sure you click on that and join his group. I'm in it. Not that means that it's absolutely amazing you should go in it, but you should. It basically comes down to that. So check that out. Anyway, let's get on with it, man, because another thing that I find absolutely insane from you is everything that you do. And I'm not talking about all the things that you do in the group, which is absolutely bonkers. It's so much, right? You also get the time to spend with your wife. You also get the time, you find the time to spend with your kids, with your other family. Plus, you just moved. And I saw pictures and explanations about you working on a car. And I'm like, dude, I only have 24 hours. How many hours do you have in a day, right? So please share with me, Mom, what's your time management secret? Because so many dadpreneurs that I speak with, they're just like, man, I can't do half the things that I want to do or that I focused on or whatever it is, right? So please, man, I want to hear your secrets.
Well, secret number one is I have twins. And so that means that I have learned to function with no sleep.
Nice.
When you have twins, man, or twins or greater, you forget sleep is gone. You forget about that. No, but I'm just working on some PowerPoints this morning before we did this interview. In this one that I'm working on actually was the first day of the One Funnel Away challenge. And on that day, they teach you to reconstruct your daily schedule, right? And I literally was just doing all this before. It's funny you asked that, because I was just typing all this stuff out on a PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm.
So what they teach you is, spell out your daily schedule, whatever that may be, starting at, say 5 o'clock in the morning is what time I got up this morning. So 5 o'clock in the morning, but for a normal person, maybe sleep. 5 a.m. is sleep, 6 a.m. is sleep, 7 a.m. wake up, you have your morning coffee, 8 a.m. you eat breakfast, take a shower, whatever it is. And you can do this for all 24 hours in the day, and you write out your schedule. This is what I do every day. This is my routine. Now, where can I cram in an extra 1 to 2 hours a day to commit to doing something else? In this case, for me, it would be the One Funnel Away challenge, or this, my group and stuff, which I'm in the group all day long just because, I'm seeing stuff on my phone and kind of responding to notifications and stuff like that. But as a general rule, I spend a lot of time when I'm building funnels or doing something intense other than just responding to a comment, or something. I do those in the evening. That's my time, or occasionally I'll do them early in the morning, like I was doing this morning. But the only free time for me in the day is at night after everybody's asleep. I don't have any other free time in the day. My day's done. I get up in the morning, and then I drink a cup of coffee and do stuff early in the morning. The kids get up. They all have to take showers and, feed them breakfast and get them dressed and, all that kind of stuff. And so the mornings are hectic. Then everybody's out the door. She's gone to drop the kids off at school, or if it's summertime, like right now, they go to summer camp or whatever they're doing during the day. We're off at work all day. I have to pick the kids up. So I go into work early. I pick the kids up every day from whatever it is. If it's during the school year, I'm picking them up at 3:30. I'm home with them the rest of the day, every day. And, if it's summertime, I get a little bit more leeway, which is great for air conditioning guys, because we're really busy in the summertime. Yep. So they can stay, until 6 o'clock or something at their summer camp where they're at right now. And so I may get afforded a little bit more time, but regardless, the end result is I pick them up every day, whatever time I'm done working, or if they're getting out of school or whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. I'm home with them the rest of the day until my wife gets home. And like I said, she doesn't get home until 7:45 at night, 7:30, 7:45 at night. So that means I'm picking them up and bringing them. I'm helping with homework. I'm making dinner every night. Whatever it is that I've got to do, I do that in the afternoons. And again, back to what we were talking about earlier, I may not always be perfect at all that. There may be days where I'm just like, it's a long day. I don't feel like doing all this homework today. I'll pass it off on the wife, or something. But, we've all been there. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm this perfect dad and, I do everything perfect. So please don't believe that about me, because that is not true. We're all fallible, and we all make mistakes, and we all have those days where we just can't do it. But generally speaking, this is my routine. And so she gets home, and, like we were talking about earlier, she only has a limited amount of time to spend with the kids. So usually we've already eaten by then, because I can't wait until 8 o'clock at night to feed them. And so she's catching up, with dinner, eating a plate that I've made for her or whatever. She's got to do all that, spending a little bit of time with the kids, and then they're off to bed. And then, I may spend whatever time I can with her, but she actually goes to bed really early too. She goes to bed about when they do. And she's passed out by 8:30 or 9 o'clock pretty much every night. So 9 o'clock, that's when my time starts to work. And there's a lot of times where I'm working until midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. But the initial commitment from me for that 1 to 2 hours was at night. And I made that commitment. I said, look, every night I'm going to commit to doing the daily homework and the challenges and reading and studying, whatever it is I got to do. I'm going to commit to doing that. And I did that. And now it's just sort of become routine for me. And I, spend my time in the evenings. But the bottom line to all of this is there is 24 hours a day, and you may think that your day is very, very full, and mine is very, very full, I can assure you. But if you make a commitment and you stick to it, you can find the extra time to do something that's important to you, right? What really matters is it really important to you, or is it just another thing? If it's just another thing and you're saying, yeah, I'm going to do it, but you're not really going to do it, then you're not going to succeed at it. If it's something that's really important to you, like I need passive income for this, or it's my children, or my spouse or whatever it is, and it's something very important to you, then I can assure you, you will make the time and you will commit and you will get it done. So when you're beginning any journey, especially if it's passive income or anything else, the number one question is, do you want it bad enough? Do you want it bad enough? And are you going to commit to it? And if you want it bad enough and you're going to commit, then you'll make the time and you'll succeed, And so yeah, that's my short answer to that. How bad do you want it?
Yeah, well, that's a great short answer. And a great question to ask yourself every time, right? Like, okay, how bad do I want this? Right? I'm sure there are things that you ask yourself, like, okay, how bad do I want this? And you kind of think like, man, I actually don't want it that bad, right? Which makes it kind of easy, because then it's like, okay, so then I don't have to spend time on that, right? One less thing to do. Now I can spend time on what I really want, right? Spend time with your kids, or making that extra money, or whatever that is, right? So yeah, that's absolutely a great question to ask ourselves. Actually, every single day.
One of the things that I had, in one of these PowerPoints that I was just reading this morning, actually, just to touch on that, was that, one of the things that I said was turn Netflix off for 30 days. Because one of our nightly routines may have been, and this was for me too, this was my case, was I needed some unwind time in the evenings. And so I would go up in the old house, we had a media room, and I would go up to the media room and sit in there and watch stuff, on the screen, and just kind of unwind for an hour or two. And that's what I gave up in order to commit to this. And so just another example, but that was one of the things I put on there: turn off Netflix, turn off your cable. You may think you can't survive without it. I thought that way for a long time. And then we finally cut the cord, on that. And now we just have, some little, a shield with, we just have Netflix and some other little things, mostly for the kids. But it's actually been much nicer without the cable, believe it or not, because you'd be surprised how much you're addicted to that stuff and how much time you really spend on that stuff, and you don't realize you do it until you don't have it. So just another thing to think about. There's things in your life, I promise, you can cut out and make more time. You just may not be thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely agree with that. Yeah, Facebook is one of them. If I don't happy, everybody's here.
That's a bad one.
But yeah, exactly. I keep writing it down every single day. When I journal and I look back at my day, it's like, okay, what did I do not well? And I'm like, spend too much time on Facebook again. Dang it. So yeah, man, I'm glad you shared that. You mentioned a lot during our conversation. You were talking a lot about failure, right? I want to go a little bit deeper into that. Since you've mentioned it a couple of times, what does failure mean to you? And yeah, what can you explain to the people that are so scared of failure?
Your failures aren't what's keeping you back. Your failures make you more attractive, more believable, right? And they're relatable to your future followers. Mm-hmm. That's what failure teaches you. It's something I was telling someone in my group, and I've taught this before in other avenues beyond this. An analogy that I've used in the past many times is when you're driving a car, you have your rearview mirror right up there. And if I were to leave work and drive all the way home in reverse, using the rearview mirror as my guide, I would look really, really funny, right? Nobody does that. Nobody drives in reverse everywhere they go and use the rearview mirror. And that's because the rearview mirror is there to glance at every once in a while. And so when I'm driving, I may want to glance at that rearview mirror and kind of see what's behind me, but I'm not focused on what's behind me. I'm not focused on what's back there. I'm looking at the big picture, which is my front windshield. My front windshield is way bigger than my rearview mirror. And I want to focus on the front windshield, and I want to focus on what's in front of me and ahead of me. And that should be your goal. And when whatever you're doing is driving forward and focusing on the front windshield, your failures and the things that have happened to you in the past, they're all in the rearview mirror. They're all behind you. And it's okay to glance at them every once in a while to remember where you came from, right? And to remember the things that you've experienced and the things that you've learned from. It's okay to learn from your failures, and everybody's going to experience failures. But the point that everyone needs to learn is that your failures do not define your successes. Your failures do not define where you're going to. They only define where you came from. And so if you will take the mindset of not allowing your failures to define your successes, you'll do much better. And it's very, very common for people to not succeed because of prior failures. You know, if you're failing, then it's not because you're not worthy, it's because you're not ready. And that's the cold hard truth. You're just not ready. You're not ready to face it. You're not ready to get in the past, you know. And everybody is worthy and able and capable of moving forward from anything in life. It doesn't matter what you've been through, you know. We're little things or huge things, you know. Anybody can move forward from failure, but it's really all a mindset, you know, dealing with failure and keeping it behind you. And you need to experience some growth pain in order to move forward, and that's okay too, you know. There's nothing wrong with that either. Everybody's got to go through that, but at the end of the day, keep your failures behind you and just glance at them. Just remember the rearview mirror analogy. Just glance at them every once in a while to remind you where you came from and what's in your past. But focus on that front windshield and move forward and focus on what's in front of you instead.
Absolutely. I like that analogy. Thank you for sharing that. Another thing that you mentioned a couple of times is mindset, right? What are some of the things that you do maybe on a weekly or daily basis to make sure that your mindset is exactly where it needs to be throughout the whole day?
I don't know that I do anything specific, you know, to craft my mindset. I think for me personally, it's just been, you know, years and years of you know, I wasn't always, now, you know, a lot of people would not recognize me today versus the me 20 years ago when I was a young, dumb kid. You know, I had a hot temper and, you know, would get in a lot of fights and all this, you know, this stuff, you know, got into a lot of trouble when I was a kid. And we can save that for a different interview, but I was a different person back then, you know, and over the years, through a lot of different things, that's just, you know, that's changed me. And family and kids has probably been the biggest factor in all that. So I'm just a different person. So I'm much more mellow, much more chill. And I just don't let things bother me anymore. Like, you know, I try not to let things get under my skin. You know, it's not a big deal. I mean, whatever Joe Blow says, you know, on the internet or wherever, or at the gas station, I mean, so what, you know, I mean, it's not worth getting all upset about and, you know, and all that. And so, you know, really my mindset is just focused on me, the things that I want to do, the goals that I want to achieve, the family that I want to support. That's the only things on my mind, you know. And so I'm removing, I guess if you want an answer, is I'm removing the distractions and the things that would cause me to not be able to achieve my goals and my dreams. All of the outside talk and all the negativity, and I mean, even down to just politics and all that. I just don't fill my head up with all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I focus on the things that matter to me, and believe it or not, I know that some things do happen, but just as an example, the president of the United States, big deal. It's always controversial every time we get a new one. This last one was no different. And everybody said, oh, your life's going to change and this and insurance and blah, 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 blah. And I tell you what, for the last 4 years, not a thing has changed in my life. Nothing has changed in my life, right? I might have gotten some little changes, very minute changes here and there on my check stub, or something, stuff that didn't even matter to me. But nothing has changed in my life. And so I don't focus on those things. He's there to run a country and do great things it's great. That's his job. My job is to support my family, and that's what I'm focused on. And I just remove everything else around me that's going to distract me from achieving that goal. And that helps me to not get overwhelmed and not get anxiety and get all stressed out about things if I can just focus on the things that matter. I guess that's the short answer.
That's a great short answer. So I appreciate you giving and the long answer and the short answer every time. Thanks for that. In the very beginning, you mentioned you were talking about your One Funnel Away journey, and you also mentioned you started reading. As a last question, could you share a couple of books that really made an impact that you highly recommend to others to start reading as well?
If it's the digital marketing or online marketing world, that's an easy question. I don't have to do it. I don't have to give you the long and short one this time. It's .com Secrets and Expert Secrets. Those books right there are just absolutely amazing and filled with so much. Now, they will teach you so much about marketing, online marketing, the digital world, the internet and all that. And so would highly, highly recommend reading those two books. Very good books. And you can get them for free. Free plus shipping.
Exactly. Just for the people out there.
There you go.
That's what it looks like. Working on that right now. So, yep, I'm with you, brother. That's .com Secret Secrets are absolutely amazing. I was very, very slow at finally starting an Expert Secret for some reason. I have no idea, but things happen for a reason probably. So working through that now, and yeah, you're right, man. That's such good books. So highly recommendable for those Dadpreneurs out there, or for those that are 9 to 5 and wanted to join Alan on the passive income journey. Alan, thank you so much for being on, man. Before we hop off, share with us what's the best way of getting in contact with you besides, I'm going to click it again, besides for people to join you on your group and creating their own passive income income stream, right? What are other ways to get in contact with you?
Well, that's it. You can join my group, and I always also encourage people to friend request me on Facebook, and I'm friends to all, like Moana, except not hero to all. I'm friend to all, but yeah, friend request me, jump in my group, send me, messages, or whatever. I'm always here and happy and eager to chat and converse and socialize with anybody, especially with people who truly have a desire to make a change or to succeed in something, right? And I really relate more and focus more of my attention on those people, not just the people that are just another thing that they're kind of flowing through, but the people that I know this really means something to them and they really want to put in the effort. And one of the things that we go through in the One Funnel Away challenge is these kind of rules of the challenge, if you will, but one of them is, if you show up hungry and you show me your hunger, then I will match the hunger, right? I will match whatever you put into it. If you put in the work, I'll put in the work, and I'll help you. I'm not going to do the work for you. I don't have time to do the work for you, but I will help you, and I will put in as much effort as you're willing to put in. And if you're willing to put in the effort, I'll match it, and we'll watch you succeed together, And so, but yeah, Facebook's pretty much it. I don't really have a YouTube, but I don't really publish much YouTube content right now. I think that's another level that I need to get at soon. It's another good platform, really good one. Just haven't taken that level yet. This Facebook one is taking up all my time right now, but yeah, that's the best way to get in touch with me. And if you want me to leave you guys with, one little golden nugget, and I would just say this, is that literally anybody can do this, right? Mm-hmm. That's the thing that I really try to convey to people is I'm no superhuman. I'm no superhero. My kids may think I am, but I'm not, and I work a 9 to 5, married 14 years. I have all the same excuses that everybody else has to not succeed, mm-hmm. but I succeed. And so I just want everyone to know in my story, when I talk to people about this journey, is that I want people to know that anybody can do this. Literally anybody can do this if you just will commit a little bit of time, find a little bit of time each day. Anybody can commit to being an entrepreneur or making some passive income, or whatever. Or maybe that's not your goal. Maybe your focus is the opposite of that. Maybe it's that you're not spending time with your family and you need to commit to that. Mm-hmm. And, just part of the Fearless Fathers thing is, being a father. Maybe that's your commitment. Maybe it's not passive income. It's that I'm not being a father and I need to commit 1 more hour a day to spending time with my kid. Whatever it is your goal is, right? We're not passive income in my case. Whatever your goal is, just make that commitment, and I promise you can achieve your goals.
I hear you. That's a great message to end this live interview with. Alan, again, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate you this time of day, because that was 6 o'clock for you when we started, 7 o'clock now that we finished. I really appreciate it. Wish you a great morning with waking up the kids and getting them ready to go to summer camp. Everybody else has been with us. Thank you. I appreciate you. Or if you listen to the recording, all the links that Alan just spoke about, and the link. So for some, that's in the description. For the others, it will be in the comment section. Just check it out. Click on it. You won't regret it. I can tell you that. All right. Everybody have a fantastic day. I'm actually going to have another live interview in about 15 minutes. So see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, man.
Are you still meeting up with your friends now that you're a father? Kids making you stress out. You got no time for yourself to work out, read, or relax. Can you still remember the time you were hanging out with your friends, feeling energetic, happy, and confident? Spending time together and talking about your life and your crazy dreams. You're feeling alone now, don't you? No one to share your challenges with, and you're just running around from one storm into the next. Well, it's time to change this now. Join me and the Brotherhood of Fearless Fathers to speak on a weekly basis with like-minded dads to crush your challenges, face your fears with determination, be held accountable, and regain control of your life. If you want to become the hero your family needs you to be, then go to becomeafearlessfather.com/brotherhood. Looking forward to seeing you on one of our next calls.